Now we're going to look at a Google Sheets approach of calculating chi-square values doing a statistical test, again using Google Sheets. So here I want to calculate whether or not there's a significant difference between the observed and expected distributions of students, and we can do that using a chi-square test. Here I'm going to enter the chi-square formula equals the observed minus the expected values squared divided by the expected value, and I hit return. Now I can copy and paste that equation down to calculate the chi-square value for every one of those 10 rows by autofilling, just like that. Now notice that when the observed and expected values are very similar to each other, the chi-square value is pretty small. So here 44 versus 42.4, we have a pretty small chi-square value. But in a situation where the observed and expected values are bigger, the chi-square value is bigger. Now ultimately what I want to do is to calculate the sum of all 10 of those chi-square values. So I've done that by copying and pasting the sum formula. This gives us our chi-square test statistic value. To complete the chi-square analysis, we also need to know the degrees of freedom, which is the number of categories, in this case the number of rows, minus 1. So we have 10 rows, minus 1 is 9. We can also use a spreadsheet to calculate the probability of the number of observed and expected students being different using equals chidist, parenthesis, and then the cell reference for the chi-square value, comma, the cell reference for the degrees of freedom, close the parentheses, and if I hadn't accidentally put a second parenthesis at the end of that, which I'm fixing now by deleting 1, it would have calculated the actual p-value. So instead of using a chi-square table, we use the spreadsheet to calculate the exact p-value, which again, a p-value of less than 0.05 indicates that our null hypothesis, our expectation, which was that the students were evenly distributed, 42.4 students per row, is not supported by the actual observed data. We reject the null hypothesis. Thanks for watching, and please be in touch when you have any questions.